at 5 o'clock. Tom Shatel, Omaha World-Herald, joins us on 365 Sports, his story. NU President Ted Carter, big changes, more realignment coming to college football, and Tom joins us on the show today. Tom, thank you very much. Saying that there's going to be more realignment coming, what you got out of most of what he said when it comes to that topic of realignment that's an everyday deal in college sports?
Yeah, thanks for having me. Good to be back in the Big 12. Saying there's more realignment coming is like saying I'm going to have dinner tonight. Because there's always realignment coming. It's never going to stop until it gets so big, the leagues get so I'm bloated, for lack of a better word, that they just explode. When we go back to the Big Eight and it's not West Conference. I hope I live long enough to see that. I think it'll happen one day, but it's never over. I mean, and I don't think President Carter had anything in mind. He certainly didn't mention any schools or in any conferences, but it's clear the ACC is going through some stuff with Florida State, Clemson, Miami. I'm a little surprised at North Carolina. North Carolina doesn't look at the football money thing. To me, that's old school Tobacco Road, and I got to think of one of those Carolinas would just be happy if they could go back to the basketball first ACC, get rid of some of those football people. But I know, guys. I just think the ACC is, and as you all know, is really handcuffed with the grant of rights until 2036. God, I hope we're all still around for that. But I don't know. I think there's always a way to get out of stuff. It'll be interesting to see what ESPN, what kind of role they play in that, because they have had to make a lot of cuts, and I just wonder, would they be in the mood to maybe renegotiate some of that, and maybe get some of the money down, letting some of those guys out of it. I don't know. It's crazy, and I know people in the Big 12 are watching it. Who can we get? So on and so forth. But I don't know. I think we're all just kind of in a holding pattern right now. The Pac-12 is on hold. What in the world's going on there? It's crazy, but Big Ten, SEC are in absolute great shape. They're just sitting there waiting, and they'll be able to get whoever they want. And I tend to think the Big Ten has turned its back on the West and is looking towards the East and the South.
Tom, do you think that any of this, just from Nebraska's perspective, is good for them?
Well, I don't know. I don't think people here. I mean, people in Nebraska are. I don't know. We've been in the Big Ten now since 2011, and some people still aren't used to it. Some people still don't like it, and I guess I'm one of them. I miss. I miss going to Dallas. Hell, I miss going to Texas and Kansas City, and I miss Tex-Mex and all the barbecue, man. You kidding me? But you can't find barbecue in the Big Ten. Don't want anybody tell you can, because you can't. I'm just not even the Husker fans just want to be good. They want to play. They want to start winning. They're not necessarily caught up in the realignment deal as much as some places. They just want to get back on the field and start winning again. And somebody you guys know very well, Matt Rule, is now in charge of that. And hopes are high, but they were high with Scott Frost. So we're all taking a wait and see. This Matt Rule has been almost too good to be true with his approach, and going back to old school development and so on and so forth. So, I always said I like to give Husker fans, especially the older generation, some truth pills. And and say, okay, would you like to go back to the Big 12 or stay in the Big 10? And I think they would say, boy, I would be happy in the Big 12 with some of the old rivalries, but they can't leave the Big 10. It's too much money, and it's going to be. I hate to say this, but it's going to be the power two eventually, Big 10 and SEC, and then they may get so big that they may just have to join together on a TV package and have their own rules. Have their a lot of people think the athletes are going to be designated employees pretty soon. That we're on the fast track to calling in employees. Well, if you got to start paying people, the Big 10 and SEC are in much better shape to do that than anybody else. So I don't know how the other leagues are going to handle that, or are going to be able to do it. So where's the NCAA when you need them? Just somebody needs to take charge of this thing, because we're headed to something that could be really weird.
Tom, any thoughts on the Big Ten story today, just surrounding Kevin Warren and the TV deal? It's not as though the TV deal's not going to be in place. It's not as though Nebraska and everybody else isn't going to still make gobs and gobs of money. They're going to make like $5 million less out of like $100 whatever million dollars. So if it's even noticeable, I'll never know. But
right.
It's just any thoughts on thinking that thing was pretty much ready to go, and any understanding of the frustrations perhaps by some behind the scenes just in the way that it was done. Again, not that it's not going to happen, but just the way that it apparently was done and is coming to light now. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I was surprised to see it. I mean, I was not surprised that Kevin Warren would leave a mess behind like that. He was not. He was not cut out to be a college commissioner. He's more of an NFL guy, and that's just plain sloppy, some of the stuff that he did. So he is an absolute poor communicator. So for him for some people to not know what would happen, I'm not surprised by that whatsoever. But so these Big Ten teams, are all up in arms about having to play night games in November, and I don't see the problem. I mean, well, sure, you might get a blizzard or something. It's just whatever. But we never got blizzards down in Waco in November, did we? We never, Nebraska played in Austin. Never had to worry about sliding off the road, unless I was leaving 6th Street. But the only thing, it's just these Big Ten teams are going to have to. If you want the big money and all the TV times, everything, it's all part of it. You have to. These Big Ten, all these schools aren't good at letting go of the Big Ten way, which is, always sometimes drives me crazy that they just have this thing where we are the Big Ten, we have to be the Big Ten, and all we care about is being the Big Ten. And look, if you're gonna sign up for all the TV money, you got to play when the networks tell you to play. So I don't feel sorry for him there. But Kevin Warren, he I'm anxious to see his legacy, because is this USC UCLA going to be a good thing? It certainly for the money, yes, but it's going to be crazy, and I don't think we understand how crazy until we see what all that travel's like and how that stuff looks. So I don't think USC and UCLA understand, some of the trips they're going to have to make either. So I don't know, guys. It's what a crazy world. I mean, Tom, I'm old enough. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, my question for you is, Nebraska is going to be, I know there's schools north of that, obviously a part of the Big Ten, a bunch of them. But the thing that blew me away about the primetime games is I didn't even know that existed. Is that something that, like, Is that a big deal that they don't want to play? Obviously, it seemed like, but if they're going to, like you said, make the money and get primetime games, someone's going to have to play at night. They would not blink if they were in Lincoln and they played a nighttime game, would they?
Nope, they wouldn't. And it's all weather related and travel. In case we played Nebraska played a game at Penn State one year. The 2:30 game, or I guess there it was like a 3:30 game, whatever. And by the time the game was over, it was dark, and it was a heavy snowstorm. And we had to drive back to one of the hotels, State College hotels, for a home game, or like $600 a night. So we had to drive back on the Pennsylvania 2-lane roads back to Pittsburgh at 10 p.m. in the snow. So yeah, there's a little bit of that. And that was a day game. So yeah, I understand that, but yeah, it's a very real thing in the Big Ten. They have been used to having their way all forever, and but this is the thing: if you're going to sign up for the big money, you got to do what the networks tell you to do. And Big Ten is used to telling everybody what they're going to do. So I don't feel sorry for them at all.
Tom, thank you for your time. We appreciate it. Again, the Omaha World-Journal, the story, Nebraska President Ted Carter, big changes, more realignment coming to college football. He was mentioned.